Traditional analytics dashboards say people are engaged.
Meanwhile, those same people are chatting with website AI agents, literally explaining why they aren't buying, and most companies never even read it.
This week, we're diving into webhook payloads, chat transcripts, and the buyer intent data your dashboard is completely missing.
Because clicks tell you what happened, but intent tells you why.
And that changes everything.
Stay tuned.
Welcome to Trivera's AI Deep Dive podcast, hosted by Chip and Nova, our AI co-hosts. Together, they transform top marketing insights from our blogs, articles, and events into actionable strategies you can use. Ready to dive in? Let's get started.
Welcome to the Trivera Deep Dive podcast. I am your co-host, Chip, and as always, I'm thrilled to be here with my co-host, Nova.
It is so great to be here, Chip. And, today's focus is something that really gets to the heart of modern marketing.
It really does.
We are unpacking a brand new blog from our founder, president, and CEO, Tom Snyder. And for anyone joining us for the first time, Tom and our team at Trivera.
Team Trivera.
Yes, Team Trivera. We're a 30-year-old strategic digital marketing firm based right here in suburban Milwaukee.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. And for 3 decades, we've been helping businesses and organizations reinforce their brands by, taking full advantage of digital and web technology.
3 decades of evolution in this industry is just a massive amount of our team's experience to draw from.
Oh, totally.
And that really brings us to our mission for today's deep dive. We are leveraging that wealth of experience to help you stop reverse engineering buyer intent from the outside.
Right, and start actually listening to it from the inside.
Exactly. We want to fundamentally shift how you view the data you collect every single day.
So let's just start with the core problem Tom highlights in his new blog. It's what we might call the dashboard illusion.
The dashboard illusion. I love that phrasing.
Right. We rely so heavily on traditional B2B marketing dashboards, but they have profound limitations.
And it's a trap that is incredibly easy to fall into because, the dashboards look so definitive.
They do.
They are clean. They have these beautiful graphs. So, Nova, unpack the mechanics of this for us. Why are these tools which process like millions of data points actually limiting our perspective?
Well, it really comes down to the history of the internet, honestly, and the technical limits of early web infrastructure.
Okay, how so?
Think about what a dashboard was originally built to do. It counts visits, it attributes traffic sources, it tracks the path a user takes from page to page.
Right, and then summarizes the outcomes.
Exactly. They were built for massive scale. They were optimized for aggregation simply because that was the practical limit of the era they were created in.
So it was a tech limit, not a strategy choice.
Right. You could measure the physical behavior like where the mouse clicked or how many seconds the browser tab was open, but you couldn't capture the visitor's internal monologue.
Yeah, so it's a technology constraint that essentially morphed into a permanent marketing habit.
Which is so true.
Let's make this tangible for a second. Relying solely on traditional analytics is, it's like managing a retail store using only a silent security camera pointing at the front door.
Oh, that's a great analogy.
Thanks. You can see how many people walk in, right? You can see what aisles they walk down. You can see how many leave without buying anything.
But you have absolutely no idea what they are actually thinking.
None. You don't hear them muttering, where are the price tags? Or why don't they have this in my size?
Exactly.
Because marketers have been watching this silent footage for years. We've just had to rely on inference.
And inference is the perfect word to describe what most marketing teams do all day, Chip.
Oh, guilty as charged. We see organic traffic to a specific service page go up, and we immediately infer, wow, interest in this service is rising.
Right. Or we see visitors exiting on a pricing page, and we infer, oh, the price must be too high. There's friction there.
Yeah. Or my personal favorite time on page is high, so we slap the word engagement on it and proudly report it to the executive team.
Oh, the engagement metric.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the user might have just, left the tab open while they went to walk their dog.
Literally. And Tom addresses this habit of inference directly in the blog.
He does. He writes, sometimes those assumptions were right. Sometimes they were nonsense with a chart attached.
Nonsense with a chart attached. That is going to sting for a lot of data analysts out there.
It's blunt, but it is incredibly accurate.
Because aggregate analytics are, they're excellent at spotting broad patterns.
Yeah, they will tell you what large groups of people tend to do on a macro level. but they are genuinely terrible at explaining human motivation.
Right.
And getting motivation wrong isn't just some academic problem. It is the single most expensive mistake you can make in B2B marketing.
Which brings us to why this matters way more than marketers might realize.
Because you can do everything right according to the standard playbook, you know?
Sure, check all the boxes.
Right. You can generate a surge in traffic. You can technically improve your conversion rates on a landing page. You can rank #1 on search engines.
For all your target keywords, yeah.
Exactly. And you can still completely miss the market because you fundamentally misunderstood why those people were clicking in the first place.
So this is where we really need to introduce the solution Tom's blog identifies, which is the webhook revelation.
Yes, the webhook payload.
Let's define this clearly because webhook payload can sound like deep developer jargon. Nova, what exactly is happening under the hood here?
So a webhook is essentially a digital courier. When a specific event happens in an application, a webhook automatically sends a message, the payload, to another system in real time.
Okay, so it's passing notes.
Right. And in the context of marketing, think about the tools on your website where a user actually types something.
Like an AI chat agent or a customer support widget?
Exactly. Or a complex form field, or even just your internal site search box.
The search box, yeah.
When a buyer types a specific question into that chat widget, the webhook payload takes their exact, unedited words and sends it straight to your database.
So it hands you behavioral data with the context permanently attached.
Yes. The context is right there.
Now, let me push back on this a little bit, Nova.
Okay, hit me.
If we are focusing heavily on the people who bothered to type questions into a chat widget or a search box, aren't we just optimizing for the loudest 1 or 2% of our audience?
That's a fair question.
I mean, aren't we ignoring the vast majority who just browse silently? Isn't that a massive blind spot for a marketing team?
That is the exact question a skeptical data scientist would ask, Chip. But here is why it isn't a blind spot.
I'm listening.
The people typing those questions are your canary in the coal mine.
Oh, interesting.
The silent majority often leaves because they have the exact same questions, but they just don't have the patience to ask.
They just bounce.
Right. So the 2% who actually type out their frustration or their specific need, they are giving voice to the friction that is quietly killing the rest of your conversions.
Ah, so they're the representative sample of the invisible friction. That makes total sense.
Yeah. So let's look at what this raw text actually reveals. Our team's experience points to some fascinating real-world examples of how reading these transcripts changes everything.
Yeah, let's get into the examples.
Okay, let's imagine you run a commercial lawn care brand. You log into your dashboard, and it shows 3 distinct visits to a specific product page. The dashboard just says 3 sessions, 3 unique visitors.
Right, just 3 tally marks on the scoreboard.
Exactly. But then you open up the webhook data from your AI chat agent. Visitor A asked, "Is this product safe to use on newly seeded grass?"
Oh, okay. Highly specific.
Very. Then visitor B on that same product page asked, "How many bags do I need for a half-acre lawn?"
A totally different concern.
Right. And visitor C asked, "How long should I wait before letting my kids play on the lawn?"
Wow.
Or maybe they asked that exact safety question in Spanish. ¿Es seguro usarlo donde juegan mis niños o mis perros?
So on paper, like on the traditional dashboard, a session is a session. But when you read the actual language, you realize these represent completely different levels of buying intent.
100%. And Tom's blog lays out 6 critical questions this data answers that a dashboard simply cannot.
Let's run through them. I'll take the first one. You immediately see what uncertainty prospects are really trying to resolve.
Right, we aren't guessing why they paused on the page.
Exactly. We see the specific doubt keeping them from clicking buy. Okay, question 2.
It shows you exactly where intent is strongest. Because not all inquiries are equal.
Oh, definitely not.
A question like, what is the history of this manufacturing process? Signals student research or just mere curiosity?
But a question like, do you have this specific domestic part in stock for overnight shipping? I mean, that signals budget, urgency, and immediate buying intent.
Exactly. Your dashboard treats both of those as a page view. The transcript tells you who to route to sales immediately.
Okay, the third question it answers, what language does the market actually use?
Yes, because marketers love industry jargon.
We do. We love clever positioning statements. But buyers rarely use them. When you read the raw payloads, you see the messy, pragmatic words they actually use to describe their own pain points.
which naturally answers the fourth question. What repeating objections are missing from your site entirely?
Oh, this is a big one.
If 50 people a month ask your chat widget if your software integrates with a specific legacy system, that means your website is failing to answer a primary buying criteria.
You are forcing the buyer to work way too hard to find basic information.
Exactly. And the fifth question it answers, what is the audience assuming about you?
Exposing those fundamental positioning problems.
Right. If a premium enterprise-level SaaS company constantly gets questions about a free tier for local coffee shops, that isn't a user interface problem.
No, that is a massive positioning failure.
Yep. And finally, the sixth question, where are your traditional reports hiding terrible signals?
Yeah, you might have a page with huge traffic and high time on page. The dashboard calls it a win.
But the transcripts reveal that people are spending 10 minutes on that page because your pricing matrix is completely incomprehensible.
The webhook payload proves it's a disaster.
Despite all of this, Tom notes in his blog that many marketing teams actually resist looking at this intent data.
I can see why. Honestly, think about human nature.
Yeah.
Dashboards feel incredibly official. They output these beautiful, clean PDF reports. And honestly, they often flatter marketing activity.
They really do.
It is so much easier to walk into a quarterly board meeting and say, look, our top-of-funnel traffic is up 20%.
Than it is to say, traffic is up, but our transcripts show that everyone is hopelessly confused by our core value proposition.
Exactly. It takes courage to look at the raw data.
It does. And Tom provides a hard-hitting summary of this dynamic in the blog. He says, the transcript often tells the truth more plainly than the dashboard does.
Wow. That's powerful.
Beautiful charts can hide a multitude of strategic sins, but the raw transcript of a frustrated buyer is undeniable.
It is the raw truth, delivered straight from the buyer's keyboard to your screen.
Perfectly said.
Well, we're going to take a quick break right here.
Yeah?
When we come back, we'll dive into exactly what kinds of decisions it should change and what this means for you. Stick around.
We'll be right back. Wow, Chip, we're already into Q2. How did that happen?
Right, Nova. And if Q1 taught us anything, it's that things aren't slowing down. AI, search shifts, content demands, analytics, it's a lot to keep up with.
That's exactly why companies trust Trivera. We don't just react to change, we help our clients stay ahead of it. Strong fundamentals, smart strategy, and the right tech, all working together to drive measurable growth, not just activity.
In a world full of noise, it's not about chasing traffic anymore. What matters is results you can see, track, and build on quarter after quarter. It's about building a digital presence that actually performs.
So if Q1 didn't deliver what you expected,
Q2 is your chance to reset and get it right. Visit Trivera.com and start building a strategy that drives real results.
Trivera, 30 years of digital marketing that moves the needle.
Welcome back to Trivera's AI Deep Dive. Now back to our conversation with Chip and Nova.
Welcome back to the Trivera Deep Dive podcast.
We're glad you're still with us.
Before the break, Nova and I broke down why intent data captured through webhooks and chat transcripts is so vital.
And how the traditional analytics dashboard can sometimes be a bit of an illusion.
Right. So now let's take Tom's insight and actually operationalize it.
Because theory is great, but we have to apply this to our strategy.
Exactly. We have this amazing raw material, thousands of direct questions from buyers. But practically speaking, Nova, how does a team handle this?
That is the big question.
If I have a site getting 50,000 visitors a month, I can't have my marketing director sitting there manually reading 10,000 chat transcripts one by one.
No, they would quit by Tuesday.
Right. So how do we update our decision-making framework without just, drowning in unstructured text?
That is the operational hurdle for sure. And the answer really lies in modern natural language processing.
Okay, NLP.
Yeah. You don't read them one by one. You use AI and sentiment analysis tools like the ones Trivera builds and configures for our client, AI agents, to aggregate the text. You tell the system, group these 10,000 questions into the top 10 themes.
Something AI can do in seconds.
Suddenly, you aren't reading individual chats. You are looking at a report that says 15% of all inquiries last month were about implementation timelines.
That makes so much sense. That is how you scale the analysis.
Exactly. And once you have those themes, Tom's blog outlines 6 specific areas where this intent data must force a change in your strategy.
Let's walk through those impact areas. The first one is content strategy.
Right.
Now, if we are shifting our focus to what buyers are typing into chat widgets, does that mean we abandon our traditional SEO tools?
Definitely not.
Because we've spent years worshiping search volume metrics and keyword difficulty scores,
And Tom's rule on this is clear. No, you don't throw away your SEO tools. Search volume still matters for discoverability.
Okay, good.
But you have to shift the foundation of your content. You build your pillar pages and your articles around the nuanced questions that serious buyers actually ask in the chat.
Not just the generic keywords your SEO tool says have high volume.
Exactly. Volume without intent is just vanity traffic.
Because ranking #1 for a generic term doesn't help if the traffic doesn't convert. You want to answer the hard, highly specific questions that prove someone is deep in the evaluation phase.
Which flows directly into the second impact area, messaging.
Messaging, okay.
Let's say your AI analysis tool shows that prospects are repeatedly asking the agent widget on your website. Do you work alongside our internal IT team, or do you replace them?
That's a very specific operational question.
Right. And you should not just rely on a sales rep or a chatbot to answer that one by one.
Oh, I see where you're going. If it's a repeating question, it is a primary buying concern.
Exactly.
That answer belongs front and center in your core messaging architecture. It should probably be a bold headline on your homepage.
Yes, exactly. And that impacts the third area, which is site structure.
Okay, so like the navigation.
Right. Think about your navigation hierarchy. If critical answers about compliance or pricing or implementation only surface once a prospect finally digs deep enough to start a chat,
then your site structure is failing.
Totally. You are hiding the most important information in the basement. You need to pull those answers up to the top level navigation.
Okay, the fourth area is lead qualification. And this is where you can save your sales team hundreds of wasted hours.
Oh, absolutely.
When you analyze these intent patterns, the language itself becomes the filter.
Right.
Like we said earlier, if an inquiry says, what is the history of this material? Your automated routing should just send them to a nurture sequence or an educational blog.
Let them learn on their own.
Yeah. But if the inquiry says, do you have 500 units of this specific spec available by Tuesday? That webhook payload needs to instantly trigger an alert to your senior sales team.
You separate the buyers from the browsers based on the mechanics of their language, not just what page they looked at.
Such a smarter way to work.
And that leads to the fifth area, sales enablement. Chip, this is the holy grail of aligning marketing and sales.
It really is, because traditionally, marketing hands over a list of names and says, hey, these people downloaded a white paper.
And sales calls them, and the leads are totally cold.
Freezing cold. But these repeated questions we are capturing from the chat transcripts, they're actual objections.
Yes, they are the buyer's internal evaluation criteria.
Your sales team must be armed with this data before they ever pick up the phone. If marketing knows that 40% of the audience is worried about integration downtime, well, sales can lead with that assurance in their very first outreach.
It's a complete game changer.
Okay, so what's the final area?
The final impact area Tom identifies is geographic and language strategy.
Interesting. How so?
Unstructured intent data is incredible for exposing completely new market opportunities.
Right.
If you suddenly start seeing an influx of technical questions coming from unexpected regions, or you see the exact same buying questions being typed into your site in French or Spanish,
You just uncovered a massive expansion opportunity.
exactly. Or, conversely, it shows you exactly where your messaging clarity is breaking down across international borders.
Yeah. If the questions from a specific region are always confused about shipping logistics, you know exactly what page you need to localize and rewrite for that territory.
Right. So when you look at those 6 areas, content, messaging, site structure, lead qualification, sales enablement, and geographic strategy,
It's everything.
it is. You realize that gathering and paying attention to your webhook data isn't just an analytics exercise. It is the blueprint for how you turn visitor friction into revenue.
Which really pulls this whole discussion toward a necessary synthesis, I think.
Let's do it.
We've been pretty hard on traditional analytics today.
We have.
So, Nova, what does this ultimately mean for our listeners? Is the traditional dashboard officially dead?
People always ask that.
Right. Like, do we just cancel our analytics subscriptions and only look at text transcripts from now on?
Emphatically no. Tom's wisdom is very clear on maintaining balance here.
Okay, good.
We do not throw away aggregate analytics. You still absolutely need the dashboard. You still need performance measurement to ensure your site is technically sound. You still need source attribution to know which ad campaigns are actually driving traffic.
Right. We aren't saying the scoreboard is useless. You still need to know the score.
Exactly.
You still need to know if the stadium is full or empty. We just need to stop pretending that aggregate reporting is the highest, purest form of intelligence.
It's not, it is just the baseline.
Right. The real advantage, the sustainable competitive edge, goes to the marketing teams that can read human behavioral language alongside those aggregate numbers.
That is the ultimate payoff of this entire approach, and Tom frames it beautifully in his blog.
How does he put it?
He says it is the fundamental difference between knowing what the market did versus knowing what the market meant.
Wow. Think about the gravity of that distinction, what they did versus what they meant.
Right. In B2B marketing, that distinction is the difference between simply reporting on activity to justify your budget and actually improving outcomes to grow the business.
Totally. If your current agency or your software stack or your internal operational process isn't surfacing this kind of contextual signal for you, it's really worth pausing and asking why.
It is.
Because as Tom points out so clearly, your buyers are already out there. They are already telling you exactly what matters to them and exactly why they aren't buying.
You just aren't listening in the right place.
They are quite literally handing you the map to higher conversions. You just have to be willing to read it.
And if you are ready to start reading that map, well, we are here to help you navigate.
Absolutely. We invite you to put this expertise to use for your own digital marketing and your daily operations. Team Trivera is ready to help you take full advantage of digital and web technology, just as we have for businesses all over the country for the last 3 decades.
We don't just look at the dashboards, we look at the intent.
Well said.
And if you found this deep dive into buyer intent helpful, Tom's original blog is linked right down there in the show notes.
Definitely go give it a read. It is packed with our team's experience and actionable advice.
And remember, the Trivera Deep Dive podcast is available on iHeart, Spotify, Apple, and all major platforms.
So please download the show, subscribe so you never miss an insight, and share this with a colleague who might be staring a little too hard at their analytics dashboard today.
Yes, share the knowledge.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into Tom's blog. I'm Chip.
And I'm Nova. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Thanks for joining us on Trivera's AI Deep Dive with Chip and Nova. If you enjoyed this episode, you can find more and stay up to date with new episodes wherever you listen to podcasts, or find them on our website and our social media channels. And don't forget to visit us at Trivera.com to learn how we can help take your marketing to the next level. Ready to talk? Reach out. We'd love to hear from you. See you next time.